Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon, and welcome to the graduation ceremony for the 349th Basic Training class. My name is Josh Long, and I am a senior instructor and the class coordinator for the 349th. At this time, I'd ask you to join me in welcoming today's graduates, the 349th Basic Training class. Members of the 349th Basic Training class, ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing or rise and direct your attention to the Reno County Sheriff's Office Honor Guard for the presentation of colors. The national anthem today is going to be sung by the 343rd graduating class member, Deputy Michael Farney. Color Guard, please post colors.
Arms. Breathe in. Out.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Forward, march.
You may be seated. The Wall of Honor was designed as a reminder of those KLETC graduates who have died in the line of duty. The Wall of Honor preserves their memories and gives family, friends, law enforcement officers the opportunity to remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice to the citizens of Kansas. At this time, please join me in a moment of silence to honor those 32 KLETC graduates no longer with us. Thank you. Members of the 349th. Yeah, I promised you guys earlier this week that I would keep this speech pretty short. There's not a whole lot that I can say to this group of people up here that I haven't said already throughout the last 14 weeks. First thing I'm going to say is thank you. You guys, over these past 14 weeks, have done nothing but work hard. And there's not a whole lot else I could say about it. I mean, they're just hard workers. Didn't matter what challenge or task that we gave them, they always found a way to get it done and do it extremely well. And for that, I'm extremely proud. It's hard for a coordinator. It's bittersweet when I stand up here and I release these officers, deputies, and agents out into the world, knowing that they're going to have to go do the job now. 14 weeks, every morning, I've seen their bright, shiny faces, most of them. And for 14 weeks at the end of every day, we've got to reconvene, and I've got to learn from them and get to help and mentor them along the way. So after today, I won't get to hear from them every day, but I'll get to see the good work that they do through their reports and through articles and phone calls and text messages every now and again. And I'm extremely proud and appreciative to be a part of this. I want to be the first to congratulate you guys. Congratulations for 14 weeks. Congratulations for completing this basic training class. Not everybody does it, but you guys went through it, you rocked it, and I really appreciate it. So congratulations. I would now like to invite Vice Provost and Director of Police Training, Darren Beck, to the podium to introduce today's guest speaker.
We're actually fortunate today. We have two guest speakers, and you have important people when we have important people introducing important people. Normally, it's just me introducing important people. It's my honor, though, to introduce to you Senator Jerry Moran. Kansans first elected Jerry Moran to the United States Senate in 2010. Since joining the U.S. Senate, Senator Moran has been a leading advocate for protecting and preserving the special way of life in Kansas. Senator Moran serves as chairman on the Appropriations Subcommittee for Commerce, Justice, Science, and related agencies, which allows him to lead the funding decisions that impact men and women working at agencies like the Department of Justice, the FBI, NASA, the United States Trade Representative, the Department of Commerce, and occasionally KLETC, to name a few. He also serves as the chairman on the Senate Committee on Veterans Affairs. His priority is to help veterans achieve success after service and to make certain that they have the right care at the right time with the provider they choose. Senator Moran is also the chairman of the Commerce Subcommittee on Aviation, Space, and Innovation, a member of the Senate Committee on Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry, and serves on the Committee on Indian Affairs. As a member of the Senate Select Committee on Intelligence, Senator Moran works to protect the United States from domestic and foreign threats. He is also a proponent of reforming the federal government's classification system. While at home in Kansas, Senator Moran volunteers his time at several community organizations. He serves on the Board of Trustees of the Fort Hays State University Endowment Foundation, on the Executive Committee of the Coronado Area Council of the Boy Scouts of America, and is a former trustee of the Eisenhower Foundation. He's also active with the Lions Club, Rotary Club, and Sons of the American Legion. He attends the First Presbyterian Church in Manhattan. Before his election to public office, Senator Moran attended Fort Hays State University and later the University of Kansas, where he completed a degree in economics. After an early career as a small-town banker, he received his JD from the University of Kansas. Jerry and his wife, I'm sorry, is it Raba or Raba? Like Raba Bank? Is that just coincidental? Okay. Jerry and his wife, Raba, continue to live in Kansas. They have 2 daughters, Kelsey and Alex, and 4 grandchildren. It is my extreme honor and privilege to introduce to you Senator Jerry Moran.
Be remiss, although it's impolite to correct Darren, we have 5 grandkids. It's such a pleasure to be here with you this afternoon. Thank you. I've been in this circumstance before, but never with the honor of introducing the real keynote speaker. And I noticed just a bit while you were polite, there was a bit of a groan when I heard that it was announced there are 2 speakers today. We've all been to graduation ceremonies, and they sometimes seem as if they linger a long time. Let me begin first by thanking Darren Beck, the Vice Provost and the Director of Program, Doug Schroeder, Deputy Director Ron Gould, Associate Director Alvin Sowers, Class Coordinator Josh Long, and all the instructors and staff who comprise this law enforcement training center that makes Kansas so proud and increases the opportunity for us to have officers across our state in circumstances in which they are safer because they are better trained, and to professionally execute the duties of being a law enforcement officer in the state of Kansas. And I appreciate the family, the friends, those of you who have gathered here, colleagues, future colleagues, who've come here to cheer these men and women on as they receive the necessary certification to continue their professions as law enforcement officers across our state. I'm pleased that the 23 individuals here represent another generation or a portion of a generation who are willing to serve. In today's world, it sometimes seems as we have too many people who are only self-interested. And no place could you ever think that someone who, by choice, becomes a member of law enforcement is self-serving. Our country desperately needs people who put community, others above themselves. And we need people who are interested in civic responsibility and working to resolve the differences that seem to sometimes dominate our political and other conversations across the state of Kansas and around the country. And unfortunately, sometimes that becomes something that is necessary for a law enforcement to engage in. The point is that while we sometimes bemoan the circumstances of maybe the world or our country as the way it is, look at these young men and women, mostly young men and women, and recognize that we have heroes among us. I've heard it from time to time there, where are our heroes? Who do we look up to? And the folks who are honoring today, the folks that are graduating from Law Enforcement Training Center, certainly qualify as heroes. It's a challenging time, no doubt. We paid our respects a moment ago to loss of life within the law enforcement community, including my hometown of Hays this year. And it is challenging times in a complex world where everybody's actions and reactions are scrutinized and considered to be whether they are appropriate, where everything seems to be critically significant and carries great weight. The demands are placed upon this profession are significant, but the opportunities and rewards are great. The satisfaction that comes with solving people's problems and to making other people safe and secure, protecting home and family, is something that we all need in our society and in our country and in our state. Sometimes, and I heard this today about the dignitaries on the stage, the dignitaries on this stage are, at least in my view, are to the people to my left. The dignitaries, I sometimes in the job that you've given me have the opportunity to meet people in high positions, but there is no better feeling and no higher position would I meet someone than the one that I occasionally meet on the highways of Kansas, but I have the opportunity to meet today. I visited Stafford Stafford District Hospital before I came here today. What I didn't know is there's work on Highway 50. The delay was about 15, 20 minutes. And I was glad that most of law enforcement in Kansas, at least between Stafford and Yoder, were gathered here today rather than patrolling the highways and back county roads that I found to escape. I can claim to have visited Arlington today and a few other small towns on my way back this direction. We all have a choice of what to do in life, and the men and women that we honor today, that we recognize today, that we graduate today, have chosen something very special and something very important to us as Kansans. And to the family members and friends and the support that comes from family, I understand this is not a solo job. It takes other people in life, support from moms and dads and from husbands and wives, from brothers and sisters, from friends and neighbors. And I would encourage at every opportunity that every Kansan offer their respect and gratitude to the law enforcement officers that serve us today and those that are graduating today. I will do my part. It was indicated that I chair a subcommittee that funds the federal law enforcement agencies, but also state grants. And I noticed that Darren was lobbying for more money for KLETC in his introduction of me. And we've had success. In fact, we have designated to county sheriff's departments and police offices across Kansas $30 million in 3 years at a time in which the country, at least some, were saying, let's defund the police. We decided it was our responsibility and opportunity to fund the police and to provide more training and therefore more security and safety for the officers and for the citizens they serve. And we've used our designated opportunity to return money to Kansas, including the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center, but mostly to police departments and county sheriff's departments who needed vests or who needed a screener to get to the county jail, who needed license plate readers, some of the very basic things that it's sometimes difficult to find the necessary money at counties across Kansas, especially as rural as we are. And I commit to you that that's only the beginning. We will continue to look for those opportunities to make sure that you are as safe and secure as you can be in your work. My real job, but I did not want to miss the opportunity to express my gratitude to the men and women to the left of me. But my real job in being here today is to introduce the real keynote speaker, and that is the ATF Deputy Director, Robert Cicada. I know him from my work in Washington, D.C., and I find him to be of great quality and capabilities and integrity and a role model. And I think we're very fortunate to have him here in Kansas and here at the Law Enforcement Training Center today. Deputy Director is one of the most respected members of law enforcement in our country, and he has more than 3 decades of dedicated public service in that role. He began his career as a police officer in New York City. Surely that's got to be worse than being a police officer in Kansas, although I'm not sure. And over the years, he's led 2 ATF field divisions in Baltimore and Miami. Today, the Deputy Director, he oversees thousands of men and women who enforce our nation's laws and protect our communities from violent crime. And this isn't an aside, but I want to make this point. He's been very helpful as we have tried to bring law enforcement opportunities to Kansas. And this morning, we were at Wichita State University on the Innovation Campus, where we announced that in addition to the ATF's Crime Gun Intelligence Center already at Wichita State and the ATF's Forensic Crime Gun intelligence laboratory already at Wichita State. Today, we were able to announce the arrival of a field office for the ATF for this part of Kansas and this part of the country in Wichita. And we are working to make certain that the opportunities that provides means that there are going to be more students interested in law enforcement, more students majoring in criminal justice at Wichita State and our other universities, and having the opportunity to get hands-on experience, and also helping ATF and other law enforcement agencies have a greater source for workforce employment of Kansans. The two items I mentioned about the laboratory and intelligence center are really high-tech things that belong on the innovation campus at Wichita State, but it goes a long way to us bringing the opportunity to Kansans who happen to be interested in engineering and science and research and technology and computers to have careers in our state and not to move away. And the director has been so engaged with us in our effort to accomplish what I just described. And just personally, I'm very grateful for your commitment to helping us help Kansas do the things that we're able to do in law enforcement. And again, Director, I would say that in Kansas, law enforcement and those who are pursuing law enforcement degrees and professions, without exception, Kansans will treat them with great respect and with the honor and dignity and appreciation that they deserve. So please join me in welcoming Deputy Director Robert Cicada. Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you all. Thank you all for having me here today. For those of you who know me, and it's a small group in here, I am never short of words, and I'm definitely not as eloquent as the senator is. So that grunt that we heard earlier on, that was definitely for me. But I hope I tried yesterday in our long flight. We started flying, I think, around 5 p.m. We got here about 1 a.m. Last night. So we tried to put together something good to honor these graduates. So hopefully you could bear with me while I actually don't speak from the cuff as I normally do, and I read something I prepared for you. This is actually the first time I'm addressing a non-federal or ATF law enforcement class, so I'm honored to be here. Thank you very much. So good afternoon. It's a tremendous honor for me to stand here before you in the heartland of America. As the director of ATF and as a fellow law enforcement officer, I could not be more proud to welcome you into this noble profession. Today is more than just a graduation. It is a pledge to the people of the United States of America that you are ready to stand with us and stand the watch. The badge you're about to wear is not just a piece of tin. It is a symbol of American values, our courage, integrity, service, and sacrifice. It represents our founding belief that good must stand against evil, and that free people have the right to live without fear. From this day forward, you are part of that tradition. You've chosen a profession that demands the very best of you. Law enforcement isn't just a job, it's a calling, deeply rooted in service, something much bigger than all of us. The safety of our communities and the preservation of the American way of life. You will serve your people that you've never met. You will protect those who you know their name, but they don't know your name. And you will represent a standard of justice that has kept this nation strong for almost 250 years. Protect my brother to my left, protect my sister to my right as we respond fearlessly, without hesitation, to the unknown. That is the essence of law enforcement. When you step out onto the street, you will not be alone. You will stand with a family not bound by blood, but one shared with courage, shared with sacrifice and resolve. This unity, this willingness to stand shoulder to shoulder in the face of danger is one of the greatest strengths of our profession and one of the greatest strengths of this country. Make no mistake, evil exists in this world, and you will face individuals who want to harm others, who prey on the vulnerable, and who seek to undermine the peace and security of our country. But America has always stood strong because men and women like yourselves have chosen to step forward. Your willingness to fight for what is right, to confront danger, to uphold the rule of law, and to protect the innocent is what keeps our nation safe. There's a prayer that I don't know off the top of my head, but it's a wonderful prayer. It's called the Protector's Prayer. And one of the areas that it focuses on, it's let me fear nothing. Give me the courage of David, the strength of Samson, and the wisdom of Solomon. I ask you all to carry that courage, carry that strength, and carry that wisdom, because every shift that you go to work, every call you answer, every act of service you perform is part of the ongoing story of America. Its resilience, its character, and its unbreakable spirit. You will follow a long line of American heroes, officers who stood their ground, who gave their all, who made sacrifices few will ever truly understand. Some never made it home. They paid the ultimate sacrifice. Honor them on how you wear that badge. Honor them in how you conduct yourselves. Honor them in how you serve this country and carry their legacy forward. To the families here today, thank you. Thank you all for what you've done and the sacrifices you've already made for these graduates. Without you, they wouldn't be here today. Thank you for your faith, your encouragement, patience, and love that helped them through every challenge that came along as they got to this stage. Thank you for the sacrifices in advance that you will continue to make. Your support, your strength is essential to the safety of this state and our nation. You're part of the mission that we fight for every day. You serve with us. To the graduates, in a few moments, you will step forward and accept your place amongst America's protectors. When your service is over, many years from now, when you take that badge off for the last time, my hope is you will look in the mirror and know that you defended the innocent, you kept the peace, you stood the line, you served with honor. You serve with honor. This is your moment. This is your calling. Your country is counting on you. Wear that badge proudly. Serve with courage. Honor the legacy of those who came before you. Stand together as brothers and sisters in the greatest nation on earth. May God bless you, your families, the state of Kansas, and the United States of America. Thank you and welcome to the front line of freedom.
Thank you very much for those words, and I'm sure that people are going to reflect back on that for a long time. So contrary to what you believe, as a graduation speaker in the traditional, we forget it by the time we walk out the door, I think there's some wisdom in there that ought to be reflected upon. It's my privilege now to present to you, not, for those of you who usually come to our graduations, it is not a pleather portfolio. It is a step up from there, and it is an official KLETC pen for being our speaker today. I can tell you for two reasons. I can tell you, first of all, I spent over 20 years as a designated ethics official for the federal government, and I can tell you, you can accept this pen as a de minimis gift. But I can also tell you that as a state agency, we really don't have that much money. And while the pen looks really pretty, it's well within the limitations. So
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it.
thank you very much.
Thank you for your partnership.
Thank you. And Senator Moran, I have one for you also.
Throughout their class, we recognize students for that excel in various professional skill sets, including fitness. As they've learned and gone through many hours, several training sessions, early morning workouts, learn that being physically fit and healthy helps them deal with stresses that they'll come across every day, both on and off duty. I'd like for the following students to rise: Andrew Foster, Ryan Lee, Josh Meggs, Riley Teisch, and Matthew Wallace. These officers are all being awarded today the Fitness Award. They've successfully completed all academic and performance skill sets, along with completing 30 push-ups in a minute, 30 sit-ups in a minute, running a mile and a half in under 18 minutes, and all have logged over 200 miles off duty run or bike time. Congratulations. You may be seated. I'd first like to call up now Ryan Lee. Ryan is being awarded the Fitness Challenge Award for logging the most miles throughout his last 14 weeks. Also, like to recognize Officer Andrew Foster. Mr. Foster is being awarded the fitness medal for being the most improved overall fitness over the last 14 weeks. At this time, I'd like to invite up Riley Teisch with the Kansas Wildlife and Parks and recognize him as the president of the 349th Basic Training Class for a few remarks.
Good afternoon. My name is Riley Teich. I stand up here today as the elected class president of the 349th Basic Class. I am beyond grateful for this opportunity and cannot thank my classmates and instructors enough for the past 14 weeks. I am up here today as many pieces of a lifelong puzzle. Pieces of my classmates. Strangers that have laughed, challenged, encouraged, fought, and succeeded together. Throughout these 14 weeks, we have had obstacles that have pushed us in ways we never saw coming. Pushed us to become together and even sometimes apart. Relying on each other for motivation and determination to accomplish these challenges. By using these challenges to develop ourselves into what you see here today. Not as a finished product, but motivated individuals who are eager to get out in our communities and make a difference. Again, I stand up here as a voice, but each of these individuals up here with me has shaped new pieces of my life. I cannot express how grateful I am for each of them and how proud I am of 349. Pieces of our instructors. We thank you for your patience and guidance you have lent us during our time here at KLATC. The stories, the lectures, the practicals, and even the criticism means more to us than you will ever know. Some things that seem insignificant touch and mold us into the great officers, deputies, and wardens you have preached us to become. A special thank you goes out to Instructor Long, our class coordinator. Being the storyteller, counselor, and teacher you have been for our duration here has made this process so much easier. Class 349 thanks you. Pieces of our family and friends. Each of you sitting out here today holds very large roles in our lives as law enforcement officers. Roles that you may not even know you have or will have. However, your role is the most important to us. Being our major motivation factor and many of our why we do this job. You are the reason we strive to be the very best versions of ourselves. The reason we come home at night. The reason we strive to be the best is to be the best for you. I'm sure it has been a long 14 weeks for you, just as it was for us. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for pulling us back when we fade. Thank you for all that you do. We are law enforcement officers together. We are all putting new pieces of our life puzzle together every day. Class 349, if you could take anything away from me, take this. Do everything in life at 100%. Be passionate in how you do life. Do your jobs at 100%. Love your family at 100%. Enjoy life at 100%. Just remember the threshold of that entrance or exit. Once you enter that building, be passionate about where you stand. Learn to flip the switch between what's important in that moment. Love when you need to love. Enjoy when you need to enjoy. Work when it's time to work. Thank you all for being here today. It means so much to everyone sitting up here. An accomplishment that turns into a stepping stone for individually great careers. Thank you to all the chiefs, sheriffs, wardens, agents, and family that made the trip here to Yoder, America. Class 349 thanks you. I will always consider you brothers and sisters. I hope you keep my number and reach out whenever you feel the need. Class, stay safe. We are in this together.
On behalf of the administrative staff, I'd like to issue or give you this award here, acknowledging that you were the class president. Congratulations. In law enforcement, oh, sorry, I forgot he was tall. In law enforcement, ethics is at the forefront of training in our profession. The law enforcement oath of office affirmation is a constant reminder of the importance of always doing the right thing. This is something that we've discussed in depth during their time here at the Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center. The ultimate purpose of law enforcement is public service. A law enforcement officer assumes a great responsibility when they affirm the oath of office. They have entered the position of being role models, leading by example. They are enforcers of the law and protectors of our communities. I'll now ask Class President Riley Teisch to lead the class in reciting the law enforcement oath of office affirmation.
Class 349, please rise. Oath. On my honor.
I will never betray my badge, my integrity, my character, or the public trust. I will always have the courage to hold myself and others accountable for our actions. I will always uphold the Constitution of the United States and the state of Kansas, my community, and the agency I serve.
Recover.
You may be seated. In a few moments, you will be presented with a challenge coin. The challenge coin is symbolic and meaningful and given to someone as a reminder of what they've done or to confirm a membership in an organization. This coin today will recognize you as a Kansas Law Enforcement Training Center graduate. I ask you to carry it with you as a reminder of the lessons learned and friendships forged during your time here at KLETC. On the back of the coin is the oath that each of you just affirmed. Carry it with you and let it be a constant reminder to always do the right thing. Class 349, it's been my honor to be your coordinator and a small part of this journey. And I wish nothing but success. I'll now ask KLETC Associate Director Alvin Sowers to join me on stage to present the members of 349th their certificates while I present each of you a challenge coin. Class President will announce the names.
Front row, please stand. Drew Alio, Overland Park Police Department. Caleb Brown, Junction City Police Department. Cameron Brown, Ness County Sheriff's Office. Alejandro Casal, Bel Air Police Department. Dade Douglas, Concordia Police Department. Frank Dornoke, Rose Hill Police Department. Lauren Ferris, Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks. Front row, please return to your seats. Please be seated. Second row, please stand. Andrew Foster, University of Kansas Medical Center Police Department. Dakota Frost, Concordia Police Department. Gabriel Gosney, Leavenworth County Sheriff's Office. Storm Hackler, Atchison County Sheriff's Office. Andre Johnson, Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks. Caden Koenig, Nemaha County Sheriff's Office. Ryan Lee, Derby Police Department. Joshua Miggs, Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks. Second row, please return to your seats. Please be seated. Third row, please stand. Haley Murray, Salina Police Department. Tyler Patterson, Mulvane Police Department. Elizabeth Flieger, Wyandotte County Sheriff's Office. Felipe Rodriguez, Dodge City Police Department. Joshua Schuler, Pottawatomie County Sheriff's Office. Matthew Wallace, Junction City Police Department. Sarah Worley, Lyon County Sheriff's Office.
And Riley Teisch of the Kansas Department of Wildlife and Parks. Third row, please be seated. As I conclude our ceremony today, I want to thank the families that came to support their graduates. Truly appreciated, not only by us, but mostly by them. They've worked hard for the last 14 weeks and they like the recognition. We appreciate that as well. Also for the administrators and fellow coworkers that come each and every time. I see a lot of familiar faces out there and we thank you for that. As we depart, there is our gift store right outside the entertainment, or right outside the auditorium for your entertainment. So if you have a special gift that you'd like to take home with you today, we will be open after graduation. I also cannot say this very often in November, that it would be a great day for your graduate to take you outside and around the campus and share a little bit about what happened while they were here for 14 weeks. And as you heard Senator Moran discuss, we've recently honored some fallen. We've had 3 officers that have graduated from KLETC that have fallen most recently. And Monday, we were able to recognize and honor those heroes as a group project. And I would ask your graduate how we honor those folks and have them explain. And we left our display up outside the wall of honor for you to look at and read the little plaque on the wall if you choose to. So thank you very much for that consideration. Class 349, would you please stand? On behalf of Director Beck, I hereby certify that each of you have satisfactorily completed the requirements to be Kansas law enforcement officers. They've been waiting 14 weeks for me to say, class dismissed.